I am learning German right now. And for the first time in few months, I was put in the hours. I was studying every single day. I felt productive. I felt busy. And I was getting nowhere. Then I realized something. I was not learning a language. I was performing the act of learning a language. There is a difference. And this is why most students stay stuck at the beginner level for years, even when they are working hard. Today, 3 mistakes, not generic advice, the actual mechanisms that are keeping you stuck, things that I had to learn the hard way. Let's go. My name is Yassin Morghadi and I am a healthcare student in Morocco. I'm learning German because I plan to study in Germany with a full scholarship. I have to pass the Goethe B2 exam to qualify. So this is not the abstract for me. This is real. And everything I'm about to tell you, I figured out by making exactly these mistakes first. Let's get into it. Point number 1, you are learning, not producing. And here, what happens is there is a trap that keeps you trapped and keeps everybody trapped. Here is what learning looks like. For most people, you open Duolingo, you complete your streak, you get the little notification and you feel good. You watch a YouTube video in the target language and you listen to a podcast, you read the word list. And then you wonder why, after months of this, you still cannot hold a normal basic conversation. Here's what's happening. All of this is input. You are consuming the language. You are not producing it. And there is a massive difference. The first point here is the Duolingo trap. Duolingo is not a language learning app. It's a habit app. It's excellent at keeping you consistent. It is terrible at making you fluent. You can finish an entire Duolingo course and never once open your mouth to produce a real sentence. The streak feels like progress. It is not progress. It's comfort disguised as progress. The point number 2 is recognition. It's not production. Your brain stores languages in 2 different ways. Recognition, you see a word and you understand it. And production, which is the second. You need a word and it comes to you on command. These are not the same skill. You can recognize 10,000 words and still freeze the moment someone speaks to you. Most language study learns or builds recognition. Almost none of it builds production. And production is the only thing that matters when you are standing in front of a real person. Point number 3, what active practice actually looks like. Shadow native speakers. Play audio and speak at the same time. Write 3 sentences in the language every single day, even terrible sentences. Talk to yourself out loud in the language, right now, today. These feel awkward. That means that your brain is actually working. If language practice feels easy, it's probably not doing very much. And that is just whatever it is. The second mistake is that you are waiting to speak until you feel ready. I need to tell you something important. You will never feel ready. Every language learner I have studied hits a moment where they say, I will start speaking when my grammar is a little bit better. That moment never comes. Because grammar does not get better in silence. Speaking, making mistakes, and adjusting is what does. The first point here is the grammar first myth. Most schools teach language like this. Grammar rules first, speak and practice later. That is backwards. Children do not learn grammar before speaking. They learn badly, they speak badly constantly. They make hundreds of mistakes a day. And through those mistakes, they internalize the rules. You cannot think your way to fluency. You have to speak your way there. Point number 2. Mistakes are the mechanisms, not the obstacles. When you make a mistake in a conversation, your brain flags it. It remembers the correction. It wires the right pattern in. When you study in silence, there are no mistakes, which means there is nothing to correct, which means there is very little actual learning. The mistake is the lesson. Fear of mistakes is fear of learning. The point number 3 in here is speak from week 1, even badly. Find a tutor on italki, a language partner, anyone. Your first conversation will be embarrassing. Your 10th will be uncomfortable. Your 50th will feel almost normal. That discomfort is not a signal to stop. It's a signal that something is happening. The people who become fluent fastest are not the most talented. They are the ones willing to sound terrible for long enough to eventually sound good. The mistake number 3 is that you are relying on motivation instead of stakes. You're relying on motivation instead of stakes. Motivation is a feeling. Feelings come and go. When you feel motivated, you study. When you do not feel motivated, you skip. And then one day you look back and realize you have been learning a language for 2 years and you can still barely introduce yourself. The first point in here is that wanting versus needing. I want to learn German is not, it's a preference. I need a German B2 certificate by December to qualify for a scholarship worth 10,000 euros is a necessity. Necessity does not care about motivation. You show up, whether you feel like it or not. The most powerful thing you can do for your language learning is to create a situation where not learning has real consequences. Point number 2 in here is deadline is not optional. It is the strategy. Book the exam before you feel ready. Pay the registration fee. Put the date on your wall. Now it's real. Every day you do not study is a day closer to failing something you already paid for. This is more powerful than any motivational video you will ever watch. Point number 3. Build a system, not a mood. Decide exactly when you study, decide exactly what you do in that time, decide exactly which resources you use. Then do it every day, whether you feel like it or not. The most fluent people I know do not describe themselves as motivated. They describe themselves as consistent. Motivation gets you started. Systems is what keeps you going. So let me bring this together. Mistake 1, you are consuming language, not producing it. How to fix? Speak, write, shadow every day. Mistake 2, you are waiting to be ready before you speak. How to fix? Start now, sound terrible on purpose. Mistake 3, you are relying on motivation instead of stakes. How to fix? Book the exam, build the system, remove the exit. None of this is complicated, but almost no one does it. That is the opportunity. If this was useful, share it with someone who is learning a language right now. Subscribe if you want to watch me do this in real time on my way to Germany. See you in the next one. Subscribe.